Okay guys, sorry for the lack of wrap-up videos lately. I've been preoccupied with a lot of busy work, and I'm hoping to get back to running everything full-time here again. So with that said, I'm going to highlight some of the calls from today in the chat room, and I'm going to try to, I've said this before, I'm going to try to make these videos educational and show you exactly why I called what I called, instead of just saying, hey, I called this and look how smart I am, right? Or look how dumb I am, depending on the call. All right, anyway, Zillow, the letter Z. This had my attention. It's a thinner stock, but it had my attention because right here, look at this candle. Ran all the way up to 48 on earnings. It looks like, what, about 2 weeks ago? Nice volume. And so ever since, now keep in mind, this almost hit 48 bucks. So over the course of a week and a half, it's dropped about 10 bucks, back down to the 20, filled the gap. Okay, so this puts it on bounce watch. This is what it looked like before today. I can add in today's candle now and show you the nice bounce. Now, here's how I called it in chat. Let me switch to 5-minute candles. All right, 5-minute candles here. The opening candle. It doesn't always work the way I want it to. The opening candle, right out of the gate, very strong. So on a bounce play, something that I'm looking for a bounce, okay? I just don't jump in right in the first few minutes. That's just blind luck. If anyone trading in the first couple minutes, to me, they're absolutely guessing. So I thought, well, hey, I missed the run. It did a nice pullback to the 20 period moving average, 5-minute candles. I didn't call it down here either, though. Kind of wanted more information. Then we get a volume spike here and then a really nice flag. So now it becomes interesting because I've got a very low risk setup. And my thinking was just basically over this flag. So I called it, somewhere right about here. 40.20 was my entry idea. And the worst case stop, 30.90. Give it a little bit, basically right below that flag. All right. And you got a nice pop to the high of the day. Holds up very well all day, and then get a nice secondary pop right there. All the way to 41.62. So it moved $1.42 in our favor on 30 cents risk. And you can see from our entry here, never underwater. So this, to me, was a very nice low-risk play, even though it's a thinner stock. GameStop, you won't see this on the results page because it wasn't a great call, but it did work nicely. GameStop caught my attention. This is GME because of this volume spike here, okay? And I already know from trading every day that this one's got a lot of shorts in it. So you got this volume spike here. I alerted the room to the volume, and it just kept running. So it could have been one of our Tokyo plays, but I didn't call it there. And then it came back down, put in this little base here, and then a little bit of a tighter base somewhere in here. Right about there, it starts to put in a real tight base. So I called it long at 25.18, okay? Just basically a base break. Again, I know there's a lot of shorts in this one. Basically up over this base, thinking then we'll get through the high of the day. And actually, this looked good on a longer time frame. If I pan out, you can see it. You have this big sell-off here, and you kind of have an inverse head and shoulders. You can kind of see it there. And up over the high of the day, this probably gets maybe a little mini squeeze or short start to cover. So that was the thinking. Zooming back in now, 25.18, just a base break. Worst case stop. This is wider than I would have let it go, but worst case stop, 24.99. I probably would have stopped it at 25.05 below this base if it would have gone down there. But anyway, there's the trigger, little meandering. Then we get through the high of the day and another little push, but it never really did rip like I wanted it to. Having said that, it still was money in our pocket from the moment of entry. EAT, the reason this was on our list, very strong this morning, nice volume. Here's the daily, up above recent highs actually at one point today. Okay, so this has it on my list, and it just means it's on a chart on one of my monitors. And believe it or not, when it came back down, see this green line here? This is the 60 period moving average. And when you do the math with 5-minute candles, okay, there's 5-minute candles is what this chart is, and you do the math on 60 times 5 is 300. That is, I wanted to say exactly, it's almost exactly where the 1520 is. They're calculated based on time, so there's going to be a few pennies fluctuation. But this is one way. If you have the 60 period moving average on your 5-minute chart, and then you have a strong stock and it comes back down and touches this green line, the 560, you also know that if this was on 15-minute candles, it's right at the 20. And that's a place where stocks often bounce. And there it is. The red line there is the 1520. And so you can see the nice bounce there. I actually took this right as it hit the line. Okay, this is something I'm experimenting with. Rather than wait for a turn on candles, I took it right here at 33.55, and a stop 20 cents below. So 33.55, 33.35, 33.56, I'm sorry. And you can see it didn't hit the stop, and over the next, well, it started to go right here. Over the next, I don't know, 45 minutes, it climbed to 34.13. Doesn't sound like much, but it was almost 60 cents in our favor. And the grab, love when these work out. The grab was literally right at that green line there. So I almost picked the turn clean. And what else? Blackberry. And this is thanks to some of our members pointed this out to me. Okay, Blackberry, BBRY, used to be RIM. Probably looked like this when I called it. And they pointed it out to me. Hadn't seen it. I wasn't really even watching this. But you had the early high of day right there. These are 5-minute candles. And you had a lower high. And you really just had kind of a tight base with the high of day to the left. Couple that with the daily chart that is beaten up. It's back down to recent lows. It had a huge move this one day when it gapped down and everybody thought it was going to zero. It's been meandering down ever since. If you switch to 15-minute candles, something I teach our members to look for, and I'll talk about it in this video, when you have something that's down several days in a row, preferably to an area of support like BBRY, go back, use 15s or 30s, all right, and look at where the downtrend started, and picture where the opening high is. This is the opening 15-minute candle, I don't know, however many, 6 days ago, whatever it was. So then here the next day, there's the early high. Okay, these are 15-minute candles. There's the early high. So, it happened about a little over 30 minutes into the session. Same here. This happened in the morning. There's the early high in the morning. Early high, right? The next morning, there's the early high. What you'll notice is, there's the early high. What you'll notice is not on any of these days did it, this is not proper English, is it? It did not break the early high on any of these days after the downturn started, okay? So there's the early high. You notice that whole afternoon it never took it out. Same here, early high, never broke it. Same here, same here, same here, same here, and same here. Okay, this was yesterday. It almost did. It came up, but it had come a long way to get there, all right? Okay, so then today, you've got an early high. This is the morning early high, and now we're into the afternoon, and it might be flirting with finally breaking the early high. So let me get all those lines out of the way, and the afternoon breaks on something that's down that many days in a row without breaking its morning high can oftentimes give a nice pop. And there's perfect example, Blackberry, 1321 entry idea. It went to 1368. I mean, in 15 or 20 minutes, something like that, on only 12 cents risk. And that was a nice way to end the day there. So, all right, hopefully some of what I said made sense. And if any of it confused you, you can always email me. On my web address is on Contact Us on the website. All right, talk to you guys later.